it's fantastic, really. The transformation is incredible. When I first came in here and walked around, I couldn't even recognize it anymore. The laboratories are beautiful. I'm really excited about the group study areas that students can get together, learn from each other, and collaborate. I think that's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the year ahead. We're going to have people working from different disciplines together in the same lab, and that's really what's happening more and more in industry. You have people collaborating from different disciplines, and you're really cultivating that here with this facility. I think that's fantastic.
In the beginning as a freshman, I came in here, Chemistry 101, coming in. It wasn't really like a bad building, but it wasn't anything special. Now it seems like I'm going to be excited to go to class and things like that. It's bright, not that scary anymore.
The new labs are wonderful for multiple aspects. I have individual lab stations, so there's much more freedom of movement. Students can get around, the TAs and I can get around. I have these 2 new projection systems, so when I'm showing slides, it has a much bigger image, and it's much easier to point out what I want the students to see that they're sketching from. I have the capability of running 2 different, a computer at one station, for instance, and the slides at another, so I could have 2 setups going on at the same time, clean. That's a huge thing, and we're still learning to adjust to the space, but I think having the modular spaces, so every station and every group of students has their own equipment, they have their own slides, they have their own pipettes, they don't all have to be rushing to the front or rushing to the back, all trying to get the same thing. It's right there. There's going to be much less confusion, I think. We're going to run much more efficiently, and I'm just excited about it.
I would say actually this room is going to be an essential part of my sort of schedule this school year, because I'll be starting the like senior year work for chemical engineering. This room over here is the unit operations room, where you have like all the important advanced equipment for distillation columns and fluidized reactors and that sort of good stuff like that.
It's going to be really exciting to teach students in here, because even just from the traffic flow pattern in lab, for one thing, and people who saw the old lab in Salisbury would sort of recognize this, but in Salisbury we had lots of bench space, or lots of great big bench spaces. When you had 20 students, an instructor, and a TA in there, it became really crowded. Here, we got to have spaces where, if you look around the lab, you can see that there are lots of spaces for students to move around. They're sort of individual student spaces or student work areas, so that they can be at a work area. And we sort of redesigned the lab so that all the stuff you need at a workstation is right there. So they can reach in a drawer, pull out what they need, put it back. And so even though there's a little bit less bench space now, the stuff is available. It doesn't have to be out all the time. And I think it will work much better. So it's always been true that WPI has, at least, especially the biology department, has a really strong laboratory curriculum. So they all come out, we think, and it seems to be true, with a really good practical background on how to do things in lab. The good thing between the sort of new lab setup and having all the electronics and technology that we're doing with the Connected Lab project, it allows them to interact and talk to each other more and work more as a team. And part of a really big team now, not maybe just your lab partner, but as a team, either the whole lab section, which is 20 people, because they can all share data and see it up on the screen as it comes, or we can use it, because we can electronically save all the data, it's easy to share the data between the entire class. And hopefully that will help them a lot in learning to work in a really large team, in a really large project, which we all really believe is the way most things get done in large science and in industry these days.